Welcome back to part 2 of week 3 embryology scientists. I hope everyone's still doing great. So what we're going to talk about now is when the chicks start hatching next week, which all of the chicks will be hatching anywhere from Monday to Tuesday. We will be charting, I will chart when the first egg starts or chick starts pipping out of the egg and for each incubator, and then we will wait 48 hours and whatever hasn't hatched within the 48 hours then will be called a quitter, and we will chart with each class afterwards as well. Sorry about the guest there. Anyway, when the chicks do come out of the egg, they need a few things. And looking at the background here, what are a few things that you think the chicks will need once they've hatched? And I want you to also think about, what do you and any other animal need when they are living? All right, so I hope a few of the answers are space or boundaries. So this container is going to be that safe space for those chicks to be. It will keep them contained. It will keep them safe from our visitors or anything else that might be walking through my kitchen, the house. And it's just a nice place to keep them contained. Now, what do chicks do? Have you guys ever heard of the word feces before? Well, feces is pretty much the scientific word for poop, okay? So within their safe space here, we're going to take newspaper and just kind of shred it up and put it in the base of the container so that it collects that feces or poop, okay? So I'll finish doing this later, but I wanted to show you how we want to help keep that container clean and help keep our chicks clean as well. So after that, what is something else the chicks might need? All right, if you said warmth, that's great, because mother hen, what she would do if she was with them is she would let the chicks under her body, under her wings, and she would keep them warm until their feathers started to grow and they're able to regulate their own body heat. So this heat lamp is kind of nice because I can actually clip it onto the side of the container. And I'll actually only clip it to one side of the container because we need a warm spot. But if the chicks, once they start to regulate their own heat, they'll want a cooler spot to move to so that they don't overheat. And that's why the heat lamp will only be clipped to one side. I also have a thermometer here, which I will leave on a clip on the side of the tote. That way I can make sure it doesn't get hotter than 98 degrees. And if it does, then I'll just adjust the heat lamp. And it really is going to depend on where that container is sitting in my house and how drafty or cold or warm it is. So what are some of the other things the chicks will need? They have space, shelter, boundaries. They have warmth. All right, I have 2 containers back here. And if one of you said water, that's awesome, because I'll use one of these containers for water. Now, when the chicks have hatched, they've never drank before. So I will take them very carefully and just barely dip their beak into the water so that they can move their beak and be trained or learn that, hey, that's what water is, that's where I can find it. All right. Now the other container would be for what? Food, absolutely. And my cat here, Peter, he's looking for food, hoping the chicks were in there, but they're not yet. And don't worry, I'll keep him away from the chicks once they've hatched. So we'll go ahead and fill this full of food. However, we're also going to sprinkle food within the container on the floor because chickens and birds naturally will scratch and peck at the ground for bugs and seeds. And so that natural instinct will kick in, and that's why we'll sprinkle a little food on the floor as well. All right, so that's the most important part of once those chicks come out of the egg and what we will do to take care of them. If you have any questions, we'll try to figure out how we can get those questions to me and how I can get those answered for all of you scientists. Next week, we will also learn about where the chicks will go once they have grown up. And I just want to say thank you so much, scientists, and we'll see you next week.